Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're doing another pick a card. Today's pick a card is guidance from your spirit team. So when I say spirit team, it goes beyond just our spirit guides. In our spirit team, we have our ancestors. We have our ancestors from other realms and other lifetimes. We have deities that we work with. It's a whole array of energies in our spirit team. So that's what I wanted to tap into today and just see what comes through for guidance. I was really called to do a guidance reading today. So we have 3 piles for you guys to choose from. Pile number 1 is the Snowflake Obsidian. Pile number 2 is the Clear Quartz Cluster. And pile number 3 is the Rose Quartz Point. So see which crystal you are drawn to. The timestamps are going to be in the description box as usual, and I will see you guys at your timestamp. Hey Pile 1, welcome to your reading. So today we are taking a look at what guidance your spirit team has for you. So I'm going to start with tarot and then move into the oracle cards. You guys chose the Snowflake Obsidian. Yeah, let's get straight in. So spirit guides, can you tap me into the collective of my pile number 1s, please? Tap me into the collective of my pile number 1s. There's something really strongly coming out about like your heart chakra and how every time you move through life, whether it's doing something in career or having certain people around you, it has to touch your heart. Like you can't just go and work for a job just because of finances. Like you're one of those people that have to follow your heart, and your heart has to align with something that you're doing. And when you're not, you can sometimes fall into a bit of dissatisfaction with life. You can feel a little bit lost. And Spirit's saying the reason being is because your heart is a compass, and there's a strong message to listen to your heart because it really does know the way. Some people will be more guided to listen to their intuition. Some people will be more guided to think matter of fact with their logic and move that way. But you've been gifted a very strong heart chakra to align with, to be a compass for you in this lifetime. And that's a strong message coming through before I get into the reading from your spirit team. So pile number 1, please, the Snowflake Obsidian pile. Pile number 1, please. We have the King of Wands. Tap me into my pile number 1s. What message does their spirit team have for them? What guidance does pile number 1's spirit team have? Okay, we have the Moon. We have the 10 of Wands. I'm just going to pull one more card. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Messages from their spirit team. I'm hearing Ascension by Janae Aiko, and she sings, what do you do it for? What are you running for? What are you running towards? What are you trying to prove? What have you got to lose? What is the path you choose? They're just some of the lyrics from the song. Am I using that? No. Okay, hang on. Cards are slipping. These cards are kind of slippery because they got the gold on them. So bear with me. One final tarot card for pile 1, please, spirit guides. Spirit team of pile number 1. What guidance do they have? 9 of Swords. Okay. On the back of the deck, we have the Page of Pentacles, which I'm going to place in view of the camera while I talk about tarot. And then when I move into the oracle cards, I'll probably place it out of view, but I'll leave it there for a second. The first thing that I'm being shown is like a spider when I'm looking at this tarot deck, and I don't know if the spider's like a spirit animal or a spirit totem that you keep seeing, or if it holds significance, but what I'm picking up from it is I'm being shown a spider weaving its web. And obviously when you watch a spider weave a web, it's going to the right, it's going to the left, it's going up, it's going down, and we never really question when a spider's weaving its web. Why are you going all the way over here? Why are you going all the way over there? And it isn't until the web is finished that you see it was weaving its web all the way through to make this beautiful web for it to, you know, reside in, right? But in the meantime, when you're watching it, you may think it's making a little bit of a mess. And Spirit's almost mentioning that in regards to like maybe something that may be going on in your life right now. Like sometimes things are happening, or there's a time period that's happening, and we look at it and we think, well, why is this happening to me right now? Why do I feel stuck right now? Why do I feel backed into a corner right now? What is going on right now? And we can look at it in a way of, why is this happening to me? I'm so confused. But as time goes on, you see that that was a lot of the times a very transformational period, or a very intricate part of that web. It's not until we really look at it from the higher point of view, or the spirit's point of view, that we can really look down at it and see that full web and go, well, I had to go through that to go through this. And if I had not gone through that helped me alchemize something, it wouldn't have made me the person that I am to then create this. There's always a reasoning for things like that. A lot of the times hurdles can be used as stepping stones onto another paradigm, or when our back's against the wall, we are transformed then, phoenixed into another version of ourselves. And that period where there was immense pressure, it almost acted like a portal of alchemization to create you into the person that you are now, to then have new ideas of where you want to go in life. There is always a reasoning for everything. And Spirit really want me to mention that, because I'm being shown that there's something that may be going on in your life right now, or this is how it feels. It almost feels like you're on the money with something. Like your intuition and your heart is following something, but there's something that has to happen in order for it to manifest, or something needs to shift, or there may even be something beyond that, what you're trying to bring in or trying to manifest, that is actually going to bring you a lot more happiness, and is actually something that's more connected to your soul. But you might not be able to see it at this moment, as you're going through some sort of transformation, or something may not be quite fitting or working the way that it is supposed to right now. I feel like you guys may be met with a lot of friction right now, and that could be friction in a career path, that could be friction in your own spiritual journey. You may be going through an ego death or something like that, or there could be friction in the sense of you having to purge old timelines and let go of people to move forward into another paradigm. But either way, there's a period you're in right now where you may be feeling stuck, disconnected, almost like defeated. The Ten of Swords isn't here, but that's how it's coming through. It's defeated. But Spirit's asking you to, I'm hearing the word patience for start, which I know is kind of an annoying thing to hear when you're going through a bit of an alchemization, or things keep falling through, like this Ten of Wands. But I'm being told that you aren't seeing the full picture yet. With this Moon card, you're not fully seeing what's actually being woven around you yet. You're not fully seeing, you're being planted in the dark, or something's being planted in the dark, something's shifting, something's alchemizing, but you're not seeing the finished product yet. So Spirit's saying to not when things are falling away right now, or you're feeling a sense of friction right now, don't fight the friction, and don't fight anything that's falling away. Allow everything to flow right now, and listen to your heart, because something is being built that you're not seeing right now. Something is coming to fruition that you're not seeing right now. Or there's maybe a block in the road right now that may be frustrating, and they're saying honor the frustration, but that block is actually going to help you alchemize into a stronger version of yourself. That block, or that little mountain right now, it's going to transform your energy. Like I was saying about it being like a portal, it's going to help you alchemize your energy in order to assert you onto another paradigm, which is going to, I'm being told the word rejoice. It's going to I just see you looking back then and going, that's why that happened. There's something happening in your life where there's friction, or you feel pushed down, or something's flowing away, or everything's on its head. But Spirit's saying you're going to look back at this point right now, and you're going to be like, that had to happen to get me here, or that, that grievance helped transform me into this, or that was a stepping stone to this, and had I not gone through this, I wouldn't have had a new fresh set of eyes to then go down this journey. And Spirit's referencing that there's a reasoning for everything. And there's something that with this King of Wands, it's like you're intuitively aware that there's a road you're walking down, or there's something that you're doing that you're meant to be doing. But there's like, how do I explain this? Because I don't want to butcher this for you. It's like, okay, so say now someone wanted to be a well-known on TikTok, right? But TikTok, it's just not but popping off the way that you want TikTok to pop off, right? And that getting your let's say comedy. I'm going to apply comedy here. I don't know why. You know that you're like funny and you know that's the route, but TikTok isn't working. But like you need to go through that maybe block or that shift where it's not working on that platform to be like, well, you know what? Maybe I can try it in a different way. Maybe I can switch up this. Maybe I can head over to Instagram. Maybe I can head over to YouTube. And by that diversion, you then start to blow up with your comedy. You then start to blow up with that. Does that make sense? There's something in your life, you know what you're doing, but there's like a diversion or an alchemization that is going to happen as a result of something falling through the cracks or something not working the way that you want it to, so something else can be birthed. I really hope that's making sense. I want to pull more oracle cards for more context because I feel like it's a little big. But there's something you've got your eye on, like your eyes on the prize, your heart chakra wise connected or something, but then you're maybe feeling defeated because there's maybe something you have to go through before that happens, or there's something alchemizing. It reminds me of like when I started my channel, and I used to mask a lot because I would be told a lot that I was a bit weird. So when I would talk about, when I would go into like the depths of my work, in my everyday life would be looked at very weirdly. So I learned to mask and almost keep things very surface level. So like when I started, for example, with doing astrology videos on my channel, it was like, okay, what, is popular and how can I keep this surface level to make it make sense? So then all the years of me writing in books and going really deep into like, the sun in astrology, and just that alone, I'd have like a whole book that I'd like written and wrote all these things down. I felt like I couldn't talk about it because it was like I didn't feel that people would get it. So I was kind of like blocking myself in that way. So when I was doing my astrology videos, I didn't feel happy doing them and I ended up stopping doing them. But what happened was I went through a very strong ego death. I went through a Kundalini awakening where that mask that I would put on to keep things surface level fell. Like it completely fell. And I could no longer do that anymore. So it's like when I do bring back my astrology videos, I have no worry of going as deep as I can because I know that's my purpose, to go that deep. I have that ability to go deep because it's my gift. I would not, if I hadn't gone through that, awakening, if I had not have gone through that ego death, I would not be able to get deeper content out, even to the level of the readings I do now. My readings at the beginning, I wouldn't pass on deep information in the fear of being looked at as weird because I had that insecurity. Had I not gone through my ego death, I wouldn't even be able to go as deep as I am going now. You know what I mean? And be comfortable with it. So I had to go through that upside downness, face those insecurities, transform them to be able to deliver what I do now. So there's something where there's a alchemization of something to help you become the person that is going to really stand in the energy of what it is you're trying to apply to, or what it is you can see. I hope that's making more sense. I'm going to pull some oracle cards to get more context, but I hope that little analogy made sense to you to describe what Spirit's saying. Pile, there's something about like, I'm hearing don't fight it. So I don't know if it is some sense of purging or shadow work or an ego death or something like that. It could very much be, or just insecurities that maybe you're batting down, but Spirit's almost calling you like, no, face these, because once they're transmuted out, they're not going to stop you. There's something like that coming through. Pile number 1, messages from pile number 1 Spirit team, please, Spirit guides. Messages from pile number 1 Spirit team. We have get creative. It could be as well that like maybe someone's trying to, I don't know why this just popped in my head. Maybe someone's trying to learn tarot, but they just can't connect with tarot, but they know they're meant to deliver messages. And then that whole maybe disconnect in that way, or that feeling of maybe this isn't for me, could then with the get creative card have you go, hang on a minute, let me try something else. Let me try scrying. Let me try runes. And then the minute you pick up runes, that activates a karmic memory where you used to work with runes, that almost reminds you on a soul level of how to maybe channel and connect. And then you become like, amazing at runes, not because you're becoming it, but because it was always within you. And that's why there was a disconnect with the tarot, because you were always supposed to read runes, or you were always supposed to read tea leaves, or you were always supposed to literally just sit in front of somebody and channel. You didn't need anything. You know what I mean? There's something like, you've got your eye on something, but there's another side to it. There's something you're not seeing, and you have to go through that maybe disconnect or block, or the falling of this 10 of Wands, the grievance, to have it transformed to align with something else. And that's why we have be creative. Okay, pile number 1. Messages from pile number 1, spirit team. Messages from pile number 1, spirit team. Yeah, we have higher perspective here as well. It's something you're not seeing yet, and just because you can't see it doesn't mean you're not going to see the answers. Sometimes we have to purge through something, or we need to let go of our old way of looking at something to receive the new answers. You know what I mean? To receive a deeper understanding of something, we have to do that. So it's like there's something that is shifting so that you can see from a higher perspective, and then you'll be able to see why the spider was going over here and here when it was creating the web, you know? Pile number 1, message from pile number 1, spirit team. There's something in your career that's connected to your heart, that's part of your life mission. And if it's not, it's just in your lifestyle that resonates with your own soul's mission. Oh, look what the card says. Literally, this is why I love tarot and oracle cards. Look what we have here. Connect to the heart. And the funny thing is with this, this looks like a pyramid here. I know that's probably not what it's intended to be, but it's reminding me of a pyramid and channeling from spirit. I always have a pile where they're very connected to the pyramids. It might be this pile, and they're able to channel from spirit. So that's quite interesting that that's come through. But with connect to the heart, the thing is about following our heart, and our heart being our compass, is the heart doesn't necessarily move with the fear-based logic that sometimes the ego can, or well, this is impossible, or well, this is just doomed. You know what I mean? It doesn't quite move that way. So when we listen to our heart, we listen to our feeling, we listen to our soul, we listen to what's right. And there's a reference right now to pay close attention to your heart chakra, where you want to go. I feel like there's a strong message in it's never going to lead you astray. A really strong message. And it could be something that there's something that needs to be worked through, or something that you need to learn before applying yourself to something. It was like when I started YouTube, and it was around the time I was going through a bit of my self-love journey, and I would film and then I would delete the video because I wasn't confident speaking on camera, and I didn't like the way I looked, which was bizarre because no one's here to look at my face. You're here to listen to my messages. But I needed to work through those insecurities before I could even get on camera, because I started to think that maybe putting content on YouTube wasn't for me because I was so bad at it. You know what I mean? I thought I was really bad at it. I even thought I had a blocked throat chakra, but I needed to learn more about myself before I actually came on here, if that makes sense. There's something like that. It's reminding me of Neo in the Matrix when they ask, he asks if he's like the chosen one, and he asks the psychic who can't lie if he's the chosen one, and the psychic's like, no, you're not. But it wasn't that he wasn't the chosen one. He wasn't the chosen one yet. He hadn't gone through what he was about to go through that would make him the chosen one. Do you get what I mean? There's something like that. And whatever it is you're going through right now, it's what's the catalyst of the alchemization to get the answer or the fruition to something that you've kind of planted. I hope that makes sense. Pile 1, messages from pile number 1's. The revolutionary. Look at that. It's reminding me of like the sword and the stone. You know when he pulls the sword out? I don't know why it reminded me of that. Back of the deck we have Dare to Dream. The revolutionary. Yeah, there's something that like you almost incarnated for a lifestyle, a connection to someone. Because this could be about love. This could be, you know, in regards to like romance, and you wondering why you're always being met with karmics, and it's the same thing. We go through karmic connections. They're not meant to be blocks. They're meant to help us alchemize to reach a certain energy point where we align with a soulmate. So that's, again, it's like everything's being woven. Even when you think that something was just so random and it just happened, it didn't. Everything's necessarily helping you alchemize and become the person that you're supposed to. I saw a TV clip. It was like an interview thing, and this woman was, I think she's like a motivational speaker, and she was talking about how Oprah, I don't know much about Oprah because I'm from the UK, she's not really talked much about over here, but they were talking about how Oprah didn't get her show and become famous and rich until she was like a certain age, and someone had fired her, and the guy was like, I mean, who would fire Oprah? You know, who would fire her? And, you know, it's Oprah. And then the woman was like, no, she wasn't Oprah yet. She hadn't gone through what she needed to do to become Oprah yet. She hadn't had those closed doors and setbacks to become Oprah. She needed to go through that. When that guy fired her, she was just an average Joe. She was not Oprah. She became Oprah through her setbacks and through everything that she went through. Now, I don't know what type of person Oprah's like, so bear with me there, but that really stuck with me, because it's like, yeah, like, doors close and there's a reason for them closing because another one's for you. You know what I mean? It's like when you want a pet and then you don't end up getting that pet, it's because that pet wasn't yours. You know what I mean? There's something about that echoing through this reading of like, pay close attention to the friction, pay close attention to the flow. Follow the flow, do not fight the friction. And when a trigger is coming up or something isn't falling through, allow your mind to get creative and expansive and look from a higher perspective to see where you can alchemize this, you know? Because it's like I'm being shown like a ball, and it's like you're trying to touch this ball, but it needs to alchemize into like a pyramid for it to be yours. When it's in its ball form, it's not ready. It's like, do you know what it's like? It's like when you're baking a pie or a cake and you're waiting at the oven and you really want it, but you know you can't bite into it yet because it's still gooey inside and you could get salmonella, you know? So you wait for it to be baked and you wait for it to cool down before you eat it. It has to go through that. That's what's kind of echoing through this reading. Pile number... Oh. Card just jumped in the air. Yeah, we have the moon, feminine zest, and I love that the butterflies are here. There's an alchemization going on right now in your energy, and I want to also let you know that your spirit team is saying you are a powerful alchemist. The fact that we have the water here, which is reminding me of the emotional center, and I'm thinking of the heart chakra then, and then we have the moon here, which is connected to our intuition. I feel like you're on the right track. Even when you feel a little bit stuck, there's a reasoning for it, you know? There's a reason for winter before spring. There's a reason for the, you know, autumn after the summer. And spirit signs are kind of like hang in there with that. And remember that, you know? Let me move these over so I can get your cards in. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. One more card from this deck before I pull the last oracles. Please, spirit guides, spirit teams of Pile 1. What guidance do they have? Oh, let me grab your card. Intuitive movement. We have dance. Yeah, and it's reminding me as well of like, you know, sometimes when you work out and you go for a run or something like that and you feel a lot better after you've done it. A lot of the times we feel a lot better after we've done it is because energy can sit and get stuck. And then when we start to dance and we start to move and we start to work out, we alchemize our own energy by shifting, by moving about. That's how we alchemize it. So there's something about trying out a different pathway, trying out a different avenue, not a different point of which you're trying to reach. I mean it in the sense of, you know, if you're on TikTok, try YouTube. If you're on if you're watching like movies, read books. Like, does this make sense to you? It's like if you're on you know, it's like acting. I'm being taken to acting then, and like doing like theatre, but then shifting it to something else. Like there's something about that, or alchemizing, or maybe even a desire that you have, or a part of you hasn't even been ignited yet, and you're waiting for that spark to be ignited. And the way you do that is just being open to those possibilities, for it to fall on your lap, sort of thing. There's something about that coming in too, but that's what I have here with dance. I keep being taken to this be creative, like trying something different, trying it a different way, you know. And we have gateway, sacred journey. So where you're at right now is actually quite crucial to the journey that you're on, and crucial to you becoming who you're supposed to be. And I think this time period that you're in right now, you are going to be looking back at and being like, I get it now. You know what I mean? I get it now. And I don't know why the archways reminded me of Sarah from the Labyrinth. And she's, you know, going through, and at the start she's kind of like a bit of a lost kind of girl, but then towards the end she kind of stands up to the guy, but she had to go through the labyrinth to stand up to Jared and actually see through him and see he had no power over her. She had to go through the labyrinth first. She wouldn't have understood otherwise. So that's really, really coming through. Final cards then, please, spirit guides. Pile number 1, spirit team. Message from pile number 1, spirit team. Sorry guys, my camera cut out then. Pile number 1, spirit team. Pile number 1, spirit team. Oh, we have Leo, the hero. Love that. Love that. The little lion in the middle. Love that. Pull one more card and then I'll channel them. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Pile number 1. Messages from pile number 1, spirit team. We have the blue moon renewal. And I love how the imagery here of like the water leading to the moon. And then you have here, she is looking at the water leading into the moon, and we have that here as well. And I love that. I love that synchronicity, because like I was saying, the water is representing the emotional center, following your heart as well, and then the moon is connected to our intuition. It's like your heart's guiding you. Now the back of the deck is quite interesting because we have the 4 twinings, and you know, it explains the new moon, the first quarter, the full moon, and the last quarter. And it's quite interesting that that's at the back, because again, we're looking at different phases. Do you understand what I mean? We're going through the new moon, which is rebirth, inspiration, new beginnings, to the first quarter, energy, flow, action, and then it moves into the full moon, which is abundance, completion, celebration, and then the last quarter, which is reflection, ebb, stillness. Very different phases, but it's all phases of the same moon. And I love that. I love that that is coming through, because there's a strong essence in changes and honoring the state that you're in right now, because it's a needed maybe respite, or it's a needed time period where you transform and you become who you're supposed to be, or align yourself with something that you're supposed to. So I absolutely love that. And I'm being told in these time periods, especially when you feel a little bit uncertain, it's your heart you want to lead into, because your heart has never steered you astray. You may think it sometimes when things aren't going your way, or things may seem a little bit all over the place, but that was really a journey or a stepping stone. And with the fire energy here, it's taken me to the Leo energy. It's taken me to the 5th house, which again is a very creative house, and we have got creative here. There's just something about you, there's something about this phase igniting something in you that's going to take you somewhere else. And then it's taken me to the moon again here, which has come up in these readings too, which is like, you may not be able to see it right now, but that doesn't mean it's happening. Follow your heart. Just listen to what you're feeling right now. There's much going on around you that you're not seeing. So always trust spirit with that, and trust the universe with that. So pile 1, that's what I have for you. I really hope this brought you clarity and guidance that you needed. Hit the thumbs up or comment down below if it did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pal 2, welcome to your reading. So today we are going to be taking a look at what guidance your spirit team have for you. As you can see, Veda has decided to pop onto the table before I begin. He's just made his debut on my channel. I will pop him to the side in a second so I can pull the cards. He's just very interested in the crystals at the moment. That's why he's here. So yeah, you've now met Veda. This is what Softy used to do, baby. This is what Softy used to do. Yes. So I'm going to get straight in, guys. I'm going to start with tarot and then we're going to move on to the oracle cards. I'm going to pop Veda on my lap so that he doesn't get in the way of the reading and swish the cards with his tail. Come here, baby. Come here. Come on. You're going to sit on my lap? You're going to sit on my lap? No? Okay. All right, let's get in. So I'm going to start with tarot and then we're going to move into the oracle cards. So let's get straight in. Spirit guides, can you tap me into the collective of my pile number 2s? Straight away, I'm being shown what looks to be like Snow White and the seven dwarfs. I don't know why, but I'm being shown like, I'm hearing the song Hi Ho, I Ho, you know, when they clean, and then I'm being shown like a broom and like brooming the floor. I don't know why. So that may be a really strong reference right now for you guys to be clearing the clutter, whether that's in your, if you work with spirit, like your spiritual practice, so like cleaning the clutter around there. It could be cleaning the clutter out of your home right now, getting prepared for newness to come in, but it could also mean just in your own energy field right now. Some salt baths, closing down your chakras, and maybe getting Reiki, or just even just listening to singing bowls and visualizing energies flushing your body. That could be something that spirit's referencing right now. There's just something about cleaning something up, or alchemizing some energies around you right now. I'll be doing a chakra reading again soon with my automatic drawing, so we can really take a look at your energy field. I hopefully in the next 2 weeks I hope to get that up, so if that helps, you know. But there's just something about that, like cleaning, something about that. So let's get in. Let's move some of the hair off the table. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2, tap me into the spirit team of my pile number 2. What guidance do my pile number 2s? Straight away we have the 4 of Swords. Lately, especially my guidance readings, there has been a pile where there has been a strong message to rest, to not push. It's been coming in and filtering through over the last couple of weeks. So you may be from that pile that keeps getting that same message. I'm hearing stubborn. Sometimes you guys may be a bit stubborn, maybe wanting to work a lot and not rest, or and to be honest with you, I need to take a leaf out of this book because I'm the same. But also like trying to get everything in order but not letting things flow. There's a reference from your spirit team like don't resist the current right now. Don't resist the current. Just being in the receiving state for you right now is going to be super helpful in not only giving you directions on where to head next, but also topping up your own energy levels, as well as really getting you back to your roots. I don't know what that means, we'll get into it, but there's something about you coming back to your roots with this particular reading. And it's funny that Veda chose your reading to sit across the table, because back around last year with my cat Softy, what she would do is, if I was trying to push myself to work and my spirit guides were like, you know, it would be best if you rested today, and I'd be like, no, I want to work, and I try and push myself to work, and Softy would come out of nowhere. Softy's my cat that passed in January. She'd come out of nowhere and she would lay across the table and would not let me work. Like, she would not do it. And Veda wasn't even in my room when I was filming for pile 1. He was not in this room at all. And then pile 2, he just decided that he was going to come and sit across the table before I filmed. And that's why I was telling him this is what Softy used to do, because That's what she'd do to stop me from filming, or stop me and kind of give me that little nudge for my spirit guides, like, please just rest, like, I'm trying to rest and now I've got to stop you, like, come on. And I think that's quite funny that Veda chose your reading to not only make his debut on my channel, but also show me that synchronicity of passing on that message of just being in the state of receiving and being in that state of flow instead of maybe pushing. Because I think that with you guys, there's something about, how do I explain this? You're quite simple at heart. You almost feel a little bit like a shaman at heart, if I'm honest with you. You're very simple at heart, and I think a lot of things you don't need a lot of things to make you happy. You're quite simplistic on a soul level like that, and I think that similar to Pal 1, you move through your heart chakra, you move through your emotional center, and you know, like when you see people and they want to be known for something, or they go into a career path and they'll, you know, like for example, there's singers that want to sing because they want to sing, because they have the gift to sing, and because their heart's connected to it. And then you have singers that don't really care to sing. They want the glitz and the glam and the fame and the money and the big house. And it becomes about that. And sometimes people, even when they have that dream at the beginning that they want to sing, they get caught up in needing the next bag and shoes to fit the environment. And there's something about you coming back to your root to remind you of what your heart really wants and what your soul really wants, rather than what maybe you're being taught is needed for what you're going after. Or, you know, I have to reach it becomes like a numbers game. It happens even like with like YouTube sometimes. You will start to think then, okay, what will get views and what will get clicks? And anyone who does like YouTube or TikTok or anything like that will start to think that way sometimes. And I even went through a phase where I was like, okay, what would be, what would, appeal to people, until I had like a big epiphany and I was like, it's not even about that. I just want to guide people. Like, it's really not about that at all. And I was able to kind of just be grateful for where I was at. And there's like a message of something like that coming back to your root of like, remembering why you're doing what you're doing, or what you truly want out of life. There's something like that coming through. Because I don't know whether you've been through a tower moment, but it's like, I'm hearing all the glitters isn't gold. There's something about that coming through. Let me get into it. Let me lay the cards. You have, very similar to Pile 1, you have a very strong heart and you lead your way with your heart. I find a lot of my collective are like that. We have the 7 of Pentacles. So there's a reference of you coming back to the beginning, coming back to the basics, and looking at things a lot more clearer so that you can make a better decision. Because with the 7 of Pentacles, I feel like there may be some abundance ahead in a career field, or just in life in general, like we literally have the Lovers. I'm gonna have to cover it up because YouTube are a bit, thing about the imagery on these cards. So let me just get a bigger crystal. I'll just do that. But this is the Lovers card. I'm gonna have to pop that there. But yeah, it could even be like new people or new relationships coming in, new connections, and Spirit's almost asking that you focus on you and laying your roots right now, and coming back to the present is the message, instead of maybe looking ahead or looking behind, so that you can be aware of what's coming in. Because either it's like multiple job opportunities or pathways starting to open up for you, or it's new connections and relationships going to start opening up for you, and life beginning to get more fast-paced, which is probably why you're being called to rest right now. But Spirit want you to have your head on and be moving through your heart chakra and listening to your heart when you're making these movements, instead of what will get me this finances, or what will make me feel this way. It's like, no, what will make my heart soar? What will make me feel comfortable? What is better in the long run? It's like, like when you, there's quick, what's it called? I don't know what it's called. When you buy something for like quick, like gratification, it's like, do you want to pay extra and wait a little while longer for something that will last a lifetime and that will be valuable beyond your own years? Or do you want a quick satisfaction of paying the money that you have now for something that's going to wear over within the next year? It's up to you, but Spirit's asking you to come back to center so you can follow your heart and see what would be better in the long term. Because one thing about you is that you're a very old soul and you're able to see beyond your current environment. You have a very strong intuition. I feel like you're really able to feel your way through. And the more you are in that, not resting stage, but in that state of receiving and observing, you're able to make really strong and bold and good decisions. And Spirit's asking that you come back to that state and come back to basics without the clutter around, so that you can make better decisions then moving forward, not just in, you know, relationships and friendships that are coming in, or job opportunities that are coming in, but maybe with the foods you're putting in your body, or the environment that you're choosing to be in, or the people you're choosing to have around you. There's something about that, and that's why Spirit's calling you to rest and really be in your energy right now. That's what it's about. And it's funny that I chose as well the labradorite for you guys. So everything's very synchronistic with you guys in general. But the labradorite, it's great for empaths because it almost stops you meshing your aura with somebody else's, and it keeps your aura intact. And there's something about protecting yourself right now and your energy, and not over giving too much or over spilling too much or taking on weights of other people. I think that's why Spirit was showing me the brooms with the 7 dwarfs, you know what I mean, clearing that out, so that you can really make a strong decision in your own energy without everything else. And we have the King of Cups at the back of the deck, and you know, he's emotionally evolved, very emotionally intelligent, and he's able to see beyond what his emotions are currently making him do or triggering him to do. He's able to observe and make better decisions because he's grown into that, and that's a strong message right now, because you're here to live a very beautiful life and create a beautiful life for you. But for you, it has to be connected to the heart. It has to be connected to your soul, and also your inner child with the Sun card here. You know, the Sun's connected to Leo, the 5th house. It's very childlike energy. We have the child here on the horse too, so it's like, I feel like your inner child leads the way as well. Sorry for the airplane, guys. I feel like your inner child leads the way as well, and there's something about coming back to basics and nurturing that. Maybe you've been adulting a lot, so it's like, well, what will be, you know, practical for me, in the sense of what would make more money, or what would do this, or what would do that. And it's like Spirit's almost calling you back into that inner child state, or that dream energy with the 4 of Swords. I always think of someone dreaming up something with the 4 of Swords. It's like Spirit's calling you back to that before you move forward. Because when we create a house, when we're building a house, we have to build up the blueprint, and we have to be creative to do that. We don't just start building anything. We want to be creative. We want to, you know, draw the blueprint out, be creative. How would this work? How would this bathroom look here? How would that hallway look here? And maybe we could have a secret room for, you know, hiding in or whatever, you know. And you build it, you create that, and there's something about you coming back to the blueprint, but almost creating a new blueprint and starting from scratch. There's something about that right now, and that's why you're being called back to your own energy, and that's why your spirit team's calling you back to your own energy right now. There's a lot of solitude and meditation and being creative and just scrying, like when you like automatic drawing is another one coming through, or automatic writing. Being in a state of flow and letting ideas come through as well is another thing. Pile number 2. Messages from pile number 2 spirit team. We have strength. I'll lay the oracles and then I'll channel. Pile number 2 spirit team, please, spirit guides. We have boundaries. That's what I was saying about being careful where your energy is and clearing it up. That's why I was being shown the cleaning thing. And that's within your life who's taking your energy too. There may be someone or something taking your energy, whether it's a food or a, you know, like a video game or something like that. Energy is a currency. They're asking you to remember, and your energy is sacred. And please remember that and move that way. Your vessel, your physical body is sacred. There's the message coming through. Pile number Yeah, we have movement, the snake here. Pile number 2, please, Spirit Guides, messages from pile number 2, Spirit Team. We have share wisdom. Another like tree symbolism. We have strength with the tree there, and then the roots, and then share wisdom as the roots here as well, which is quite interesting, that play on play. And then we have soul work at the back of the deck. Okay, I love that. I love bees. I think they're really, really beautiful creatures. I'm scared of them, obviously, when they swoon at me. I've been attacked by bees quite often. They just come and swoon down on me, but I still think they're beautiful though. Okay, pile number 2, strength, boundaries, movement, share wisdom. Yeah, it's like okay, so you may have, especially with you needing the rest, you guys may have been through intense shadow work, alchemizing, and I mean, you're an old soul. I feel like it's not a case of, oh, I went through a phase and I did shadow work. It's like, you know, when are we not going down into the deep depths of our soul and alchemizing it? That's what it feels like for you. I feel like it's just kind of like a job at this point. It's just like, yep, well, that's just what we do. That's how it feels. But if you have been purging something very big, you know, when we look at shadow work and we look at like an ego death and we look at alchemizing these energies, sometimes it's someone going into a room, alchemizing that room, changing it up, and then being able to have a better, you know, a better time in that new room. Other people choose to burn the entire house to the ground and build it up again. And then there's people like yourselves where it's like, burning the house down isn't enough. I need to go down now to the roots, because we got roots here twice. I need to go down to the roots and I need to alchemize the roots. So like, for example, it's like when you go through what I've been going through, like a Kundalini awakening, you go through, you know, alchemizing and purging your emotional wounds and your, you know, all other kind of wounds like that. But then it also goes into your health, and it goes into your physical body, and you become aware of things that you may be needing to work through or balance out or make easier for yourself. And then you're kind of met with those that may not have been there before. You weren't aware of it before, and then you alchemize that. And for you guys, it's like you're going down even to the roots of the compost underneath. You're like, right, before I even begin to build this house up, I need to get down to these roots and really see if this is a good place to be, you know, building this tree, building this house. I really need to get down there. And I think for you, I think you also need a reminder of the extensive work that you do and are doing for yourself and for others. Just reminding me, I feel like if I watch this, pick a card, I wait a couple of weeks till I watch them. But I feel like this may be my pile as well. But there's like a strong message of that. Like, you do a lot of work, you do a lot of healing, you do a lot of alchemization within your own energy. And it's like you need to be reminded of how sacred that can be, and that you do need time out. And with the boundaries energy here, it's like you do need your own space. You know, it's okay to tell people no. It's okay to tell people that, you know, that you need time to yourself. And it's as well, boundaries within your own self. Maybe eating that food wouldn't be the best thing to be doing right now. Maybe, you know, going out, you know, with a friend right now when my energy is so low, and knowing that they're probably going to maybe like emotionally dump on me isn't the best thing right now. Or being around that family member that, you know, it just drains my energy might not be the best thing right now. Maybe I should put in a boundary with that person. It's all coming then together of that clearing up, so you can really get back to your kind of like sacred energy and root yourself back in. You're still doing a lot of extensive work within your being, and I think it's always happening because you're one of those people that inquire deep about yourself. And there's a message about that you're always going to need these time periods to rest and rejuvenate, because, you know, you do a lot, like with this card and then share wisdom. Like, I feel like you do a lot with these 7 of Pentacles and the fruition coming. That isn't just one pentacle coming to fruition, that's like 7. So that means that in many areas of your life you've been turning stones over and transforming and doing that work. So it's like there's a lot of newness coming in, and that's why Spirit's like, okay, come back to base, so you can be aware of what's coming in. I think making maybe like a sacred day for yourself where you can focus on you, having rituals in the morning when you wake up, so there's intent somewhere, having, you know, if you do work in maybe spiritual fields or in therapy or counseling, having something sacred with you to cleanse yourself down afterwards, or keeping something like a piece of jewelry, like I have my rings on, you know, so I have like my cat rings, so Softy's always with me, and it's the ring my nan gave me, and this was actually a gift from Carissa from 9 3/4, so if you're watching, hey girl. But I always have little things that you know, help me and are sacred to me, and I have the little rituals here and there, and there's things like that Spirit's almost calling you as well to implement. That way you're giving back to you at the same time. You're not always working, you're giving back to you, you're nurturing you, you're coming back to center, whether it's breath work, whether it's having a salt bath, whether it's having a psychic shower, whether it's going outside and rooting yourself in the ground, whether that's, you know, just sitting under a tree and taking on the energy and helping it relieve you. Something sacred of a morning, something sacred of an afternoon, and something sacred when you finish doing some sort of work or being around someone that may take your energy. I think that's something that would be really helpful for you. Set an intent there. So that's something that's coming through. Which, you know, we literally have soul work, so I do feel like you guys are like my healers, my psychics, you know. I feel like you are, with soul work being at the back of the deck. Some of you guys may be tarot readers on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I think this is a pile because it feels familiar like that, and it also resonates with myself because I'm on YouTube too, so there's a feeling of that. I feel like you guys are that you're in that lane, if that makes sense. Pile number two, and also if you are doing that work, and the amount of work you're doing on yourself anyway as a fellow light worker in this business as well, thank you very much, because we don't hear thank yous too much. Or we don't say thank you to ourselves too much, or we're so busy helping we forget to take it in. So I hope you are taking this in right now. Thank you very much for the work you're doing on yourself, and thank you for the work you're doing on the collective and for the collective. I really appreciate it. Even if you don't have a platform and you're just doing it in your everyday life, that's still alchemizing and helping, and I really appreciate you. Pile number two, guidance from pile number two, spirit team. Pile number two, spirit team. We have different view, the bat. Different view. Okay. Put that one there. And then let me move that over there so we can get this card in. I just need to make room for it. I'll read that card now. Let me just get one more for this end. I like to see the polarities. Pile number two, spirit team. What guidance does pile number two spirit team have for my pile twos? Lake, low ground. Interesting. You know what's really interesting about that, actually? Let me just check the back of the deck. Cosmos. Yeah, look at that. Ether work. Cosmos. I feel like you guys are healers, counselors, therapists, caretakers. You may work in the caring fields. You know, looking after, you know, elderly people, or working in homes or in the hospital. You know, it could be there too. That you guys work. It's quite interesting. But what I was saying about these cards, we have bat, different view, and then we have lake, low ground, which is quite interesting, because the bat's looking from a higher point of view up above, and then in the low ground, in the lake, you know, we're looking from a lower perspective. And even here with the lake, we're seeing it as above, so below. I find that really, really interesting. The polarities here. I think that if you do work in the spiritual field, or you do work helping people, a lot of the times you can become very ungrounded doing that work, or you give so much of yourself that you need to be pulled back into your own energy, or you need to be rooted back down. And again, with these trees, it reminds me of, like, with trees, they reach high heights, but the only reason they're able to reach high heights and be able to reach that high is because their roots go so low. Their roots are rooted so low. So with that being said, there's a reference here of making sure that your roots are taken care of. That's why Spirit was calling you back to your roots. because you're gonna reach high heights. So Spirit want to make sure that you're grounded into your root and that's taken care of. Do you see how that came full circle? And again, as above, so below. That's really interesting. Really, really interesting with those cards. I love that. Very interesting. I love when things come together. I love those little aha moments. I think Spirit are around you really strong too, because we've got the dragonflies around the lake there, and that's always a connection to ancestors and your spirit guides. So I think spirits, you can also call on your spirit guides to aid you if you're like, well, I don't know how to set an intention for something, or I don't really know what I need to cleanse right now, or I just feel really stuck. You can ask your spirit guides to guide and help you. They're your guides for a reason, they're saying, and they can help you find your way in that aspect. Even if it's just breath work, bringing your energy back, they're here to help you do that. Pile number 2, messages from pile number 2, spirit guides. We have devotion, waning gibbous. Devotion. Let me pull one more card. This is the thing, you're so devoted to your own soul's growth. If you do work in a sense of community, or you do have clients in like the therapy field, the caring field, you know, the spiritual field, whatever the case, you're very devoted to them. You're very devoted to your mission. I mean, we literally have ether work here, and then we have soul work here. So do you see how it's like ether work, soul work, and how that comes together so beautifully? Like, I feel like you're so dedicated to it that you give so much to it, you know what I mean? And that's why Spirit's making sure that you're rooting and not overdoing it, and making the right decisions for it, is the message. Pile number 2. You have a beautiful light inside you that guides you a lot. Like, some people, like, I've tapped into like a lot of like celebrities and just other people sometimes, and it's not that they don't have a light, but sometimes they can be a little bit void of it, or they aren't led by it, or they can't find it, or they are searching for it in other people. And yours just is bright because you're aware of it and the amount of work you do on you. And Spirit's like very focused with you on keeping that light going, but to do that, it's like we have to keep, you know, the surrounding environment nice and together, and we need to make sure that we've got a good little candle holder there to keep it going, you know. It's like that. Spirit's like, you know, it's sacred work, so we need rituals and sacred, you know, we need our movements to be sacred in order to honor that part of ourselves being so sacred, if that makes sense. Pile number 2, final card, messages from pile number 2, spirit team. Oh, that's a pretty card. We have the bee again. Guys, remember I was saying I love bees, and we have the bee here. Look what we have on the card. I think bees may be your spirit animal. Very interesting. You may work with like Oshun. I know bees are her symbolism. I don't work with Oshun, but I know people that do, and I know that's one of her symbolisms, so could be coming through in regards to that. And it's the honeymoon we're talking about as well, which is quite interesting, and productivity. So it's really interesting. Okay, productivity. See, for the bees to go and make that honey, and for them to all reach that, you know, like their purpose, and, you know, get the nectar or whatever, they need their sleep too. They need to rest too. And it's all for, again, when you look at the honeybee, it's like for a greater cause. You know what I mean? Like, they all have that community, and they're all working towards getting the honey and like serving kind of like the queen bee. And I don't know why it's making me think of like the queen bee being like the heart chakra and the hearty resonance on earth, and then it's like light workers working for that kind of cause. And it's like, you know, with the honeybee, it's like you're literally here to bring the nectar, but you need to be, you know, able to receive it and be rested up for it. Like, that's how it's almost coming through to me. I hope that kind of makes sense. And funnily enough, because if your reading wasn't synchronistic enough with two lots of bees coming through, we have two polarities here coming through. We have ether work and soul work, both cards from different decks coming through together. If that wasn't enough, we have this card that literally says boundaries on it, where I was talking about boundaries, and the back of your deck, look what it says, boundaries. So you, like, everything's so synchronistic in this reading, which I literally love, and everything's so like yin yang, as above so below, with like the trees here, you know, two lots of trees again as well. You may be seeing the number 2 a lot, that could be it, but taking care of the inner world, it shows on the outside. Rooting ourselves into the ground helps us reach higher heights. And I think that's such a strong message, that Spirit's calling you back to basics, back to the root, to make sure it's stabilized so you can grow. And that's why you're maybe being called to rest or look at your current environment right now as to where you're going, where you're headed, and what you're doing. So that's kind of the purpose of why you're being called to rest right now. And that's where all that is coming from. So pile number 2, that was probably one of the most synchronistic readings I've done in a really long time. Love this reading, love this for you. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope this reading resonated for you. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if it did, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey Pal 3, welcome to your reading. So today we are taking a look at what guidance your spirit team has for you. So I'm going to start with tarot, and then we're going to move on to your oracle cards. You guys chose the rose quartz. I placed that up in the corner. So let's get straight in. So spirit guides, can you tap me in to pile number 3 and their spirit team? Some of you guys may have very strong Native American ancestry. That's just something that's coming through. Maybe someone's as well, like ancestor, or maybe you guys as well play the flute. I'm literally hearing like flute music in like clairaudiently. Nothing that I've heard before, it's just coming through. That's something that's coming through. And I feel like either ancestrally, so like your own ancestors in this lifetime, or past life wise, I feel like there's a strong connection to Mother Gaia, animals. There's something like that coming through, particularly nature, understanding nature. You may have had a lot of past lives in Avalon. There's just a super strong connection to Mother Gaia coming through from you, whether it's from past lives or ancestral wise. It's kind of like trickling through, and I really I'm really hearing that straight away. And it's funny because when I tap into spirit teams, you know, you don't know who may come through. It could be like deities, it could be ancestors, it could literally just be spirit guides. But what's funny about you guys is what I'm taken to is like a forest. I literally feel like Snow White, which is funny because Snow White came out for pile 2 as well. So it's funny how it's come out in this reading. But I'm taken to Snow White. I'm in a forest, and you know that scene in Snow White where she's crying on the floor in the forest, she's frightened, and then there's all these eyes around her, and then you realize that those eyes, they weren't actually anything scary, they're actually animals, and they come and check in on her, and they kind of like protect her, and there's like deers and squirrels and everything. It's almost like your spirit team's coming around me in this forest, but they're all coming through as animals. So you guys may have a really strong connection to animals in this lifetime. You guys may find that animals respond to you really well, pass on messages. You know, like I'm being shown like a butterfly, and then all of a sudden you just have this intuitive message, like the butterfly's just brought that to you. It could be that you find like, you know, stray cats following you, or just cats turning up and just passing on a message to you. Like I'm being shown little things like that coming through, so that's quite interesting. Yeah, let's get in. That's just something coming through. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. A message from pile number 3, spirit team. A message from pile... Oh god, hang on, your cards just exploded. 2 seconds. Okay. Pile number... Maybe that energy that, oh, I always feel connected to like Avalon. I did a picture post the other day where there was one pile that was super connected to Avalon, and I was like, Avalon's literally calling you. So you could be from that pile. Pile number... Pile number 3, messages from pile number 3, spirit team. So we have the King of Cups. I'm also being told to say you're very intelligent and clued on. I feel like you notice things that people sometimes don't notice. It's like an ability that you like have. I feel like you're able to pick up on people's body language. I feel like you're able to pick up on people's shifts in moods. It's interesting, but it's also like, again, taking me to that Avalon reading I did back in like February, I think it was. I was being shown people being able to pick up on knowing when it was going to rain, like they could feel it in the soil, or just by looking at the air or listening to the, the wind going through, or looking at the trees. It was like being able to know when there was a storm coming or something like that. Like there's something about that as well, pile 3, that's coming through for you guys. And it's like built in. It's like you came into this lifetime. So again, it's either your ancestors that had that ability, that it's just naturally built in to you, or you remember it from past lives, so it's naturally built in on a soul level that you kept open for this lifetime. It's going to be a little bit of a different reading than pile 1 and 2. This feels very very interesting. Page of Cups. I love how you have the King of Cups and the Page of Cups. Pile number 3, please, Spirit Guides. Messages from pile number 3, Spirit Team. 4 of Wands. And you guys have the Wheel of Fortune as well. And then the back of your deck, you have the 6 of Swords. Okay, I feel like pile number 3, you're the type of people, I'll leave that there for a sec before I pull the oracle cards. I feel like pile number 3, you're the type of people, especially on a soul level too, that you need to do things with intention. Everything that you do, and I find the more you go deep within yourself, the more you inquire about yourself, the more you connect to yourself, everything you do is going to be done with intention. It's like, it's reminding me of like Dr. Sebi. I know he used to like bless his foods before eating them. Sometimes with my water bottle, I like to bless my water before drinking it, or I leave my bottle of water next to like my singing bowls and play my singing bowls, yet to have that energy, because water absorbs energy. So there's something like that coming through, or just having a room with a special intent that you're protected in that room, having certain crystals around, having certain metaphysical shapes and things like that around. Again, I'm being shown crystals, herbs, I'm being shown plants being around me. It's like there's something right now that your spirit team want you to do in regards to tailoring your life to helping you grow. They're reminding me of like when a plant is in the best environment for itself, it's able to grow. So there's something that spirit's wanting you to inquire about yourself right now, in the sense of what are you doing in your everyday life that makes you feel disconnected, and what actually makes you feel connected to yourself. I'm being shown somebody wearing shoes around the house, but then when they're barefoot, they feel super grounded and connected. It feels much better for them. Or somebody that's always indoors, never really going out and not getting any sunlight, making sure you have that 30 minutes in the morning to absorb the sun. I'm being told to share this, but back in the summer, I had it wasn't like a human being coming through. It was definitely like a different energy coming through from a different realm, and they were speaking to me, and it felt like Arcturian, and they were saying to me to stand in front of the sun and absorb the energy, like visualizing myself absorbing the energy into my body. And then when it was raining and I couldn't get the sun, because we don't get a lot of sun in Wales, I could tap into that energy that I'd reserved in my energy field and tap into it and feel that warmth. And that was like really interesting. I ended up doing that, and it literally worked, which I thought was really, really cool and interesting. So having little intentions like that, knowing and understanding your body, I feel like you may start going on a bit of a journey, understanding your body, the foods it likes, the environment it likes, because I keep being shown a plant, checking the roots, checking what food it likes, checking what, when you have a plant and you need to know where it needs to go in order to thrive, so you test it out in certain areas of your house, and if it starts to wither, that's not the spot, and you move it somewhere else. Like, I'm being shown something about inquiring about yourself right now, trying out different foods, what energizes you, what doesn't, being careful with that, but also having intentions with you know, the water energy here and cleansing. It's like maybe having bath rituals or shower rituals, trying out different herbs and seeing if they're very restorative for you. I remember the first time I put ginger root in my bath to ground me, and I was like, whoa, like it would literally just ground me into my physical body. I was like, wow. And that was the first time I ever tried that. So maybe trying out different crystals and herbs and whatever it is, there's something about you moving with intention and inquiring about yourself right now, going into silence or going into nature and really listening to what your body likes and what it doesn't like, and being shown somebody turning off their phone, going into nature and listening to their body's natural instincts, because we all have these animalistic natural instincts within us that every other animal has. You know, when an animal can see something you don't, or hear something they don't, and you see their bodies prick up, like our bodies literally have that within us. And there's something right now that your spirit team want you to inquire about within, because I feel like it's almost going to like guide you home and give you some answers. It's almost like returning to your own inner compass. Not that you're disconnected from it, you're very connected to your heart chakra. It's probably why you're super connected to animals, super connected to Mother Gaia, like that. It's that resonance. But I'm being told that there's a physical compass that we have. You know, we have that spiritual compass, emotional compass, mental compass. We also have a physical compass, and there's something about you right now journeying back and requiring about yourself. And I'm being told not to imprint too much on what that could mean. I'm being told for that to be a journey in regards to yourself, to kind of like lead you there, if that makes sense. I'm almost being told to like drop little breadcrumbs. This reminded me of Hansel and Gretel. Drop little breadcrumbs until you're like right at the edge of a forest, and then being like, run into the forest, see what awaits. Like it feels that way. There's an Avalonian streak here. They keep referencing as well that pick a card I did back in February where there was a pile connected to Avalon, and I remember being shown someone walking through the woods, and it was like they knew just by environment, the way the trees were formed, the way the water was like running in the streams, they knew where they were. It was kind of like a compass. They were able to read their surroundings, and it was like even picking up a leaf, looking at the veins on a leaf, the way that we would look at the veins on a palm, being able to read that, almost like reading people with leaves or reading the environment through their stems. And I feel like there's so much guidance that Mother Gaia and nature itself could kind of like pass on to you, and you're really being called to kind of take that journey right now. It could be like a journey of shamanism, it could just be a journey of herbology, it could be a journey of you know, tailoring your physical body to eat the right foods that are able to energize you. It's going to be different for all of you, but there's such a strong resonance there, and me calling you to, you know, take you there. I feel like I'm being told to say home is where the heart is, but then I'm being shown again forest, animals, and there's a feeling of home there, or a feeling of returning home. There's just something about that really strongly coming through. Let me pull some more cards because I want to get deeper for you guys. So let's pull the Threads of Fate. I'm going to move this up here. And I'll refer to it if Spirit want me to go back to it. I also feel as well like you guys may be feeling a little bit low energy right now, or you guys may be feeling a little bit stuck, or there could be something that you're purging right now. And I'm being told that following this, your intuition, getting around nature, or even just if you can't get around nature, sitting in the bath and connecting to the water and asking the water, getting to the ocean, asking the ocean to pass on messages to you, asking the animals that are around you right now, or ask Mother Gaia for, you know, animals around you to pass on messages, or again just sitting with your plants. There's like messages coming through, or things you're able to pick up on that Spirit's calling you to slow down, turn the phone off and listen to. It's reminding me of like Pocahontas when she sings, Grandmother Willow sings, listen with your heart, you will understand. It's just something that's coming through. Pile number, I feel like nature has messages for you right now that you're being called to inquire about. That's what it is. Pile number 3, please, Spirit guides. Pile number 3. Guidance from pile number 3, Spirit team. You know, I was talking about listening to like the physical body, and the physical body can pick up on things like animals do. We literally have Ask Body, and we have the image of a tiger here. So that's really, really interesting. or is it a let, but I don't know. But we literally have ask body. So it's tailoring your own self and rooting yourself into very sacred ground right now. Sorting your bedroom or your living room or even your house or garden out to tailor to your own needs so that you're in the right pot for you to grow and expand. I feel like a lot of the time on the spiritual journey we talk about ascending, we talk about going into the ethers, we talk about astral traveling and all of that. But you know, like some of the deepest answers and some of the best answers come from Mother Gaia herself. And we look at the spiritual journey and ascending and learning things as going above the physical world, but there is so much beauty and magic in this physical world. Knowing that water can hold memories and Mother Gaia herself holds memories, we can literally root ourselves into the soil, place our hands on rocks, place our hands on trees, and we are able to tap into those karmic memories if we are open to it. We're able to tap into them because Mother Gaia literally holds and absorbs all of that. It's the same as water. The same water is recycled around the earth all the time, and water holds memories. We're always walking on sacred grounds no matter where we're going, whether it's we're tapping back into the Avalonian days or even just 100 years before. But we have ancestors, and then we have ancestors of Mother Gaia, and there's been so many people before us, and we ourselves have walked on earth before where we are currently, you know what I mean, in many past lives. And if we ask Mother Gaia and we hold on to these rocks that have been here long before us and will be here long before we leave, and we tap into these trees that have been here from 100 years and we ask them to show us something, they're able to do that. Or again, with water, they're able to do that. It reminds me of like Avatar, where Naturi takes Jake to the Tree of Souls, and it's where all the ancestors are, and as they hold on to their leaves, you hear the ancestors singing and speaking and talking, and she says they live, Jake, they live in Awa. And it's very it's the same as like Mother Gaia, you know what I mean? These realms, these past lives, they're not actually past, you know what I mean? These realms like Atlantis, Lemuria, Avalon, they're not lost. They're not a specific place you can go to. It's all around us. The deeper we go and understand ourselves, the deeper we see life, the deeper we're able to go with our connection to Mother Gaia and into these realms, and we're able to see Atlantis. Atlantis isn't necessarily a place, it's a mindset. The same with Avalon and the same with Lemuria. My spirit guides taught me that not long ago, because I was like, where can I go to tap into Avalon? And they're like, it's literally all around you. I'm like, where can I go to tap into Lemuria? And they're like, it's all around you. It's not a place, it's a mindset. And I feel like that's why you're being called into nature, to really see that you don't have to ascend and go beyond the physical body. It's all right here and around us. And the more we set the tone, the more we make our spaces sacred, the more it gives us room to grow and root ourselves to be able to see that. And that's why you're being called there. Very interesting. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides, tap me into the collective of my pile number 3s and their spirit teams. What guidance? You're the type of person as well that you either already know or you'll come to understand there is sacredness in every little thing. I want to do a video on it, but I don't know what to title it, and I don't know how to get into it really yet, so I have to wait and see. But I found that everything we see in the physical world, it's a literal mirrored expression of what is in the higher realms, like the birth of like creation itself. We see it in the seed being planted and then blooming into flowers, and you know, it multiplies. It's like the universe is always expanding. Scientists have said the universe just keeps getting bigger, and it's the same as like flowers. Like the flower opens and then seeds go into the ground and then they grow, and it's more. And it's the same with human beings. You know, we have children and there's the umbilical cord that leads, and then that child grows up and then it has a child, and it goes on and on. The universe is copy and pasting into the physical realm, and in the physical way it mimics the higher realms. And that's why we can learn so much from the physical realms, because then we can understand it to a higher degree. So you're being called to look at everything in the physical world right now. Oh wow. I'm just gonna show you. I just looked at the card that fell. Nature. What? Oh my god. Okay, so we have nature. We literally have Ascaladian nature. I don't even think I need to explain that card. I think that just very much signifies what I was saying. I love when cards do that. This reading in particular has been really synchronistic all the way through from the other piles as well. I thought it was, I thought we reached our peak with pile number 2, but obviously not with these cards coming through. Very interesting. And it's funny that the cards that I've used, I wanted them to represent earthy tones, because we've got the golds and the browns, and I've literally used in this deck, which looks like a tree trunk, which is funny. And I used them to set earthy tones. I had no idea that this type of message would come through. I just felt drawn to it. So that's super interesting as well. The next part of your spiritual journey is to root yourself in and see the physical in a deeper way. Very beautiful. Pile number 3, messages from pile. We have power. And this stick as well is reminding me of like, you know, when you make your own wands. I actually saw, I think it was Activation Vibration the other day. She was going into the forest. It was summertime, I think, or maybe spring. She was going into the forest and she was making wands, which I loved. I've never actually made my own wands. I've bought like wands online, but I've never actually gone and made my own. And she kind of inspired me to do that at one point. So that may be something as well, you know. In nature, like I said, everything has a vibration, and going into nature and you know, finding like sticks and flowers and things like that, there's so much we can pick from that. One of the things I like to do if I'm feeling a little bit ungrounded is I collect shells and acorns and things like that. I'm blessed to live by a beach and a forest, and you know, when you just look, I don't know if I have a shell around here, I don't think I do, but you know, when you look at a shell and you just look at the engravings and there's nothing man-made about it. It literally grew from Mother Gaia, and you just like look at the patterns. It's like, oh my God. And that same pattern a lot of the time is represented in flowers. It's represented in everything. It's like, you know, veins, like I was saying in the leaves, we have the veins in our palms, the way we can read our own palms, and we have this, we can do that with leaves. And you know what I mean? It's like the trees, they kind of like represent the lungs, and like we breathe in oxygen and then we breathe out carbon dioxide, and then the trees mimic that, and it's all a mirror of each other. And it's like I'm being called for you to get out in nature and see these things and dive deeper. And even if it's just like picking up a stone and having like that sacred like rock like as your way, as like a portal to Mother Gaia herself, and helping it ground you. Like there's so much that can come from just one small rock, you know what I mean, on the ground that you pick from the forest. You don't know how long it's been there, you don't know when it was formed. There's so much sacredness in it, and I keep being called for you guys to do that. Maybe setting up altars in your garden. There's so much to learn. I feel like it's a new part of your journey that Spirit's calling me to talk about. And it's we literally have Get Wild, which, you know, what I was being shown is like wild animals at the beginning, like foxes and wolves and birds and you know, squirrels coming to check on you. That was your spirit team. And then we literally have Get Wild, which is really interesting. And this looks like almost dinosaurs, dinosaur heads in a way, which is really interesting, because we were talking about ancestors, and we don't just have ancestors on earth that look like human beings, you know what I mean? It goes way beyond that. Not just animals that are extinct, but you know, it goes way beyond that. And I'm being called to just kind of like leave those little breadcrumbs for you to kind of go on that little bit of a voyage. And the back of the deck we have Connect to Heart as well. I feel like this is really gonna light you up and send you on a complete new journey that maybe you didn't expect, or that you knew always was gonna happen, but now you're kind of like on that journey. It's just something that's coming through. I love that. And I love that we have Nature, Ask Body and Get Wild in the same thread of cards. It's just really, really interesting. Pile number 3. So we have the Moon, Feminine Zest. This jumped out straight away. We have that here. I'm going to pull one more card before I channel, because I like to have the yin-yang of both sides. Pile number 3, please, Spirit Guides. Messages from pile number 3, Spirit Team. Messages from pile number 3, Spirit Team. I think you're going to be going on a bit of a voyage, it feels. Yeah, look at that. We have Veil, Reveal Yourself. I feel like this is going to activate and open you up to new parts of yourself. It's going to tap you more into your psychic abilities, because with the moon that talks about, you know, our intuition, and with reveal yourself there, it's like you following that, you're going to see yourself deeper. You're going to be more open to the messages that just come through. We have Vision Quest at the back of the deck. It's like following. I was being shown breadcrumbs, but this is reminding me of what's the Disney movie Brave, when she follows the little nymphs into the forest. That's what these remind me of, which is quite interesting. That's something that's just come through. You guys just following your intuition, and you know what I mean, seeing where you go, because it's going to be different for all of you. We have the butterfly here as well, so I feel like you're about to go through a lot of growth. Yeah, a lot of growth. It's another expansion, but not in the way you think. I think we talk about expansion in the way of, oh, it's a spiritual awakening, and I feel disconnected from my body, and I feel up and down, and everything's all over the place. And this is a different type of awakening. This is you connecting back to your roots, which then connects you back to your roots as a human being, which is one of the most spiritual experiences to have. And being more in tune, because the more in tune we get with the physical world, the more in tune we are with the transits and the moon. And it's funny, when I went through my Kundalini and ego death, like I literally disconnected from astrology for a little while. And the reason I did it was because I had to look at life through a different set of eyes. And when I was being shown later then down the line how astrology works on a much deeper level, because now I could comprehend it more, I was being shown how the moon and the planets around us, they are physical representations of this kind of like bubble that we're in as human beings. And it made me look at the planets differently and delve even deeper on my astrology journey, like into the planets. And I started studying then like astronomy and going into that and understanding the planets and how they have manifested in the physical and how they connect to astrology and how they affect us. And I see you guys even doing that, like the deeper you connect to the root and the deeper you see things in the physical world and how things have manifested in the physical world, the deeper you're going to see everything in your life. It's going to enrich every connection in your life, friendships, the way you look at connections with people, again, animals, you're going to see them deeper, and even topics that you may have already studied. And it can be as simple as art, it could be music, it could be, again, like I was talking about astrology, numerology. You may have a deeper connection to crystals because of it. You just may have a deeper connection to life in general because of it. And it's a journey you're going on now, where you're going deeper. Maybe for a while you thought, I don't even want to be on Earth. I don't really feel connected. It wasn't that. I feel like coming out of this journey, you're like, wow, I'm on Earth. I feel super connected to everything. It's like a transition into the 4D in a way of feeling super connected to everything. And it may come after an ego death where you feel super disconnected to everything. It reminds me when I went through my ego death, and I always felt super connected to Mother Gaia, and I lost my connection. And I was out in nature and I was trying to tap in and root myself. I couldn't feel anything. But it was because my old meaning to Mother Gaia and my connection to Mother Gaia was just dying. It was dead, because it was being rebirthed, and I didn't understand at the time. I just felt super disconnected. But as I opened up, I was able to feel super connected again and understand that we're all connected, and I understood it better. And there's something like that here too. You may have even gone through an ego death. Pile number 3, messages from pile number 3's spirit guides, spirit team, even pile number 3 spirit team. There's something about music as well, but like natural music, not like engineered music. We have movement, the waxing gibbous. One more card, please, spirit guides. One more card. Pile number 3, messages from, you may even get into fitness, but in a way that doesn't actually pertain to like going to the gym and going on the Stairmaster, like, you know, moving the physical body, dancing to just nature, you know, nature sounds, or again, like more simple things like yoga, Kundalini yoga, Pilates. Like I'm trying to think, or even things that we don't even physically know in our lifetime, but you're able to tap into it from the higher realms and able to do that sort of sport, or physical, you know, connection to your physical body, but it may be something that you tap into, not something I can physically tell you to go search right now. That's something that's coming through as well. We have waning crescent, rejuvenate. And the back of the deck, we have transform. We have waning crescent there, transform. Love that. Okay. Okay, movement and rejuvenate. Yeah, well, that's what I was seeing with movement, like the fitness thing, or like moving the physical body. You may have never really liked like cardio or things like that, but you may find just being out in nature and just like climbing trees, I don't know, things like that, or swimming in the sea, or anything like that, water sports, things like that may, you know, connect to you, or just dancing, moving your body in a sacred way. I feel like that's another thing that may come through to you, and really being taken to the sacral chakra and you dancing and connecting to your sacral chakra. That's something that's coming through as well. Connecting to the womb for some of you guys, that's something that's coming through. And again, with rejuvenate, I just feel that the more you bathe in Mother Gaia and you connect there, it's rejuvenating your essence and helping you expand and helping you grow, because you're in a very sacred way welcoming a new paradigm and welcoming a new outlet for you to grow even further with a deeper connection to life. And I think then the message is just kind of reminding you that these breadcrumbs are planted, and the doorway I'm being shown is like the forest or the ocean, and it's like I'm being shown like an archway of you guys walking down, and kind of looking into that. And in your own time, of course, I feel like the door's open ready for you to walk through, and when it's time to inquire about yourself like that. So pile 3, that was your reading, and that was super interesting. It was completely different to pile 1 and 2. But it was beautiful and really intriguing, and I thoroughly enjoyed doing that reading. So thank you so much for letting me read on your energy. Thank you to your spirit team for letting me pass these messages on. They were beautiful. I hope this resonated for you. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if it did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching. And hopefully I will see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching.